What up, everybody? So I know nobody's seen me since right before I took this car to SEMA, and there's a lot that's been happening. So I'll actually make a video about it and kind of go over all that stuff. But today, I actually think that I'm doing a one-off, at least so far. So let me show you what I have going on. So, don't mind all the extra stuff. So, none of this stuff needed to come off. I was just double checking and stuff. But let me show you what we're doing. So, what we're gonna do is this here, and yeah, it's a mess. But we're doing Alcantara e-brake on Kona N. So if you guys have seen the channel, you know that I drive this Kona N from time to time and all that good stuff. And I started this process already. So let me tell you what I have done so far here. So what I've done is start removing some of the pieces to get the whole center console, or floor console as they call it, out. So there's a few things that have to come off before this thing does. First, you have your wireless charging little pad there, and then you actually have the module. This module actually comes up really easy, and it has the harness here. So you actually just pull up this way, and it exposes it, and then you unplug the harness, and then it's out. This one was a little bit of an itch to get out. So there are some clips, and that's all that retains it. So you'll see all of these clips here, and you have to go at it from right here. So you pull up, it feels like it's almost gonna break, but it won't. You start pulling up from here, and then whichever way you want to come up, if you want to come up that way. It seemed to be easier for me like this, and then I finally came up that way. And it'll give you enough slack to kind of do this here, and you remove the main harness and also this little harness here, which is that guy, goes to the seat warmers from my understanding. And that's about it. So now we got to go about removing the rest of this stuff so we can get this entire thing out. All right, so after you've removed that, then the next step is to remove the charging station. So this has 4 clips, and you gotta do 2 on this side, 2 on this side. Just be careful with it. And you can see there's 2 clips on each side, and now you just undo the harnesses there. We have those 2 screws, and then we should be able to take this surround off. So let me unplug that stuff and show you what it looks like. All right, so we got those unplugged. So you have this harness here, and then you have this big old harness here. So the way that they come off, you have this harness, which is just your little regular type of thing, and this guy actually is 2 clips like this, and it comes up. So now, from just looking at it, it looks like we got these 2 guys here, and we should be able to remove what we have to do next. So let me go ahead and look at this and get back to you guys. Now, the reason why I am looking at every step and double checking it is because there is no manual that I can find. I don't have access to the Hyundai manual, the service manual for the Kona N. So we're actually figuring it out as we go. So you're figuring it out with me right now. All right, so like I was saying, we're figuring this out together, right? So now that we have all of this here, your initial thought would be, how do we get this off so we can kind of move this back, right? Because I actually saw a manual for the regular Kona that has something here where you have to pop those two out and expose all of this shit before you can move it back. On the Kona N, much simpler. All you're gonna do is open up your glove box, and you're gonna have two 10 millimeters. And I undid this just to make sure there wasn't anything else. And once you do that, this entire floor console will come off. Now keep in mind that there is a outlet back here, and there's going to be a harness there. So we got to unplug the harness when we get access to it. So just be gentle with it and it'll come out. So the way that you want to do this, and the way that I'm about to do this, is actually kind of push back a little bit and then lift it. So let's see if that works. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, there we go. And that is it. So you can see it exposes everything. I'm gonna finish taking it off and then we'll move on to the actual e-brake. All right, and now we have the e-brake exposed. So if you've ever done the Veloster one, then it's really similar. You have right here, see the little, I don't know what you call this, I guess the little hanger clip where you have the two lines that come into it. You gotta unclip those, and then you got these 4 bolts you gotta remove. You also have a ground that's connected here, and that's it. So let me get that out. All right, so the first step to removing the e-brake is done. You got to take off this bracket, and like I mentioned, it's got 4 little 10 millimeter nuts, and then the carpet actually already has little slits here so you can get a 10 in there and be able to get those out. Then you're gonna have to come in here with like a flathead to remove this, which will allow these guys to release. And then you have these 4, I believe those are 12s, but I'll confirm and let you guys know, and then we should be able to put the new e-brake in. All right, so to get this thing off, the easiest way to do it is to get a flathead in between here and kind of pop it the way that my fingers come in, and it'll come off on one side, and then you'll be able to just remove these guys from where they are. So the way you'll do that is actually really easy. You see you got some, you'll be able to get some slack in here, because you don't want to really adjust here, so it's kind of hard to do it with one hand because everything is so new, so all the factory grease and such. But let me see if I can switch hands and do it. So I guess the camera position didn't allow you to see it, so don't have my stabilizer or anything right now, but I'll show you here. So you see how I have it back in here, right? So you want to kind of twist this a little bit, and the cable will come out, and the second side will be much easier because now you have all the slack in the world, and there you are. Now just remove the 412s, the ground, and you're good to go. All right, so now we're gonna install the Alcantara one. So easiest thing, put it down there. It's pretty nice. And what we want to do is make sure that we plug this back in. So see, we have the little plug here, connects there. And after that, we'll bolt everything together. So let's get guy in there. It's super easy. Kind of hard to see from this angle. Let's see if I can get you back in here. So, there we go. It should be easier to see for you guys. So you have the plug here. Literally, just goes in there. It'll clip, and you're good there. So now, we line this sucker up and put it all back together. So I'm gonna put this guy back together here and show you what that looks like and start putting the entire thing back together. Alright, so I came onto this side so you guys can see that. Put those bolts, or there's nuts back. Put that bracket back on, that's what holds the armrest in the back. And then we got the 4 bolts. We have the ground there. Now we should be able to put that center console, slide it back in, and put her back together. Alright, so just took it off, brought it down, slid it back in there, and then put those 2 back on. Get them in there nice and tight, and we'll finish putting it all back together. Alright, so we went ahead both to put everything back in there. E-brake is up and functional, so we're good there. And now we just put this stuff back. So first thing we're going to put back is this guy. So we're going to grab the 2 harnesses that go for it. Got the USB and this guy here. So let's plug those guys in. See if I can do this one-handed. So put that there. Grab the harness. Get it closer here. This should do it. And let's see. There we are. Once you hear it clip, you know it's in. And then this guy, this is the USB for CarPlay and all that stuff. It says top. Make sure you have it ready and going for the top there. And there it is. So now we got those done. So everything else is good, nice and tight. We set this back in its spot. Make sure everything lines up right, which it does. And that's in. Now all we have are these 2 harnesses that go to the main console here. This guy here. So let's see if I can get these in they're one-handed. Not 100% sure, but we can try. So let's see. So we'll get these guys up and in here. Looks like I'm gonna need both hands. So let me put these on and then I will show you how to put it back together. Alright, so now that I have the harnesses all plugged in, everything else is good to go. All we're gonna do is start sitting this in here gently. You don't want to force it in there. You'll hear the clips settle into their places, and that's good there. After that comes the wireless charger, or Qi charger, and that guy, you'll see that harness there for it. And honestly, this one should be easy to do with 2 hands, but we're gonna try one just to see if we can do it. But nah, let me go ahead and get this on here and I'll come back. All right, so once you have that harness plugged in. Then this actually will just clip right in. That's done. Then the hardest part of this whole thing, done. And that's all of that. All we have left to do now is this guy. That'll be it. All right, and that is all done. So in order to show you the entire finished product, I'm going to put all of that stuff back together and then show you what it looks like complete. But before you can say you're actually done here, remember that you got these two little guys on each side. Here's one for the other side, and that'll be it. So let me put it all back together and then show you what it looks like at the end. All right, so now that the car is back together, this is what it looks like. So as you can see, Alcantara as opposed to the stock one, and everything is back together. So one more thing done to the Kona. Let me know if you guys like it. Hit me up in the comment, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.